all here. Welcome, welcome. So Karen and Nana are joining us the first time. So welcome. Why not we just quickly go around to introduce ourselves quickly? You have 30 seconds to go. No, I'm kidding. All right. Christine, why not we have you, or could you unmute? Or maybe I'll get Alicia to do it, like to introduce yourself first, since you are not muted.
Okay.
So
my name's Alyssa. I grew up in Canada, but I live in Las Vegas in the US. And I'm a realtor and small business owner and soon to be children's book author.
Hey, beautiful. Who is next? Just jump in here, like everyone talk over each other. Anna, Christine, unmute yourself.
Come on, Christine, you go first.
I'm Christine. I am a high school teacher, teach financial planning, and a real estate investor.
Beautiful. Helen?
Hi, I'm Helen. I am about to be a business owner with some crystals and some other stuff. I'm neurodiverse and very creative.
Beautiful, Helen. Okay, Anna, go.
Can you let Tamara? Can you let Tamara
in? Don't worry. Yes, I'm single. We should looking at all the beautiful face without looking at the admission center.
Oh, well, that's Sally, and there's Tamara.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm here.
Hi, I'm Anna. I'm an ex-executive of security systems operation companies. I left that about 14 months ago. Was it actually no longer than that now? 16 months ago. Met Catherine and have been on this wonderful, fantastic journey of self-discovery. So there's a lot of things I've learned about myself, even though I'm 57 years old, a grandmother, a mother, done that, been there. It really doesn't matter. Whatever you've done before has just put you where you are now. So just remember, there's a you, there's an Anna, there's a Davida, there's a Christine. That's why you're here. You're trying to find what's going on with you.
Beautiful.
No?
All right. Well, we'll quickly get Sally. Welcome, Sally. Let's introduce yourself to the lovely ladies. We have a few American ladies and Lana from Melbourne joining us today.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good evening, wherever you are in the world. So I'm Sally. I live in a rural city in Australia called Wagga Wagga. Yes, it's really, really a place. And I came back to Australia exactly 2 years ago, Saturday, during the pandemic, to help support my dad, who's aging. And since then, I took some time off, and then I've been creating an online coaching business. And previous to that, I had been in a really high-flying career in international school education as a language and immersion and bilingual expert.
Sally, you and Lana have very similar work experience, and Sally is so humble. She's actually her Mandarin is better than mine, Lana. So
really? Wow.
She taught
That's
Mandarin.
impressive.
She taught Mandarin and speak Cantonese, so her Cantonese is better than my mother tongue.
Oh my God.
No, my Cantonese is not that good, but it's good for yelling at taxi drivers who try to rip you off.
That's the main thing. The Guaylo in Hong Kong normally get ripped off, and Nana can identify with you that. 200, no, 4. You can't read Chinese. Katrina, would you quickly like to say hi to the ladies that who are new today to our group?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Sorry, I was a few minutes late. I was making my cup of tea. So
the bucket again.
Today it's the bucket. I just thought I need a bucket of tea today to get through. I was a kitty couch last night. So I live in Townsville, North Queensland. I'm a naturopath, nutritionist, herbalist, and remedial therapist, and I do dry needling as well. Welcome to the group. It's a lovely bunch of women here. They're all very, very supportive and help us reach our goals, which is fabulous. And Catherine's a terrific facilitator. So we're all in very good hands here. So welcome.
Thank you.
And Tamara, love your hair. Rocks.
I know. They all done up their head and ready for Bali. Go on, Tamara. Who are you, woman?
Mute. Can't hear you.
Here we go. Who am I? I'm Tamara. I'm a counsellor. I've been in the group now for probably 6 months, 7 months. I've been part of the group. I'm currently trying to make my cup of tea because, hey, need my cup of tea in the morning. Love this group of women. They've helped me through lots of things currently. I'm a counsellor. I live in Melbourne. I'm a specialist relationship counsellor. I work with people who are in the LGBT, multi-partnered relationships, and kink and BDSM communities. So I work in a very niche area, but it's a very needed area of relationship therapy. Love working with Catherine and the ladies and can't wait for Bali. As I said, got my hair done. That's all nice and fresh and bright. And this is me. If you don't see me with colour, it's because it's faded and I need to get it done. So I think I've had my hair like this now for about 12 or 13 years. So it's definitely me. I use colour and I'm a bright person. So that's
In
me.
so many ways.
Yes.
I think Helen introduced herself. Maybe the reader would like to introduce yourself to the lady as well, even though this is your second time with us.
No, there's not much more to say. I'm Davida. I'm here in Melbourne. I have a multitude of things that I do and don't do. And well, that's all there's not much more I can say.
Oh, you're too humble.
Unless Anna wants to chirp in.
Well, she's a microbiologist and administrator, runs office management, does accounting. I don't know, there's a plethora of stuff that I could continue to go. There isn't anything this woman hasn't tried that she doesn't succeed in. So, yeah.
Well done. That's why I say the reader is too humble. Nana, like, say hi to this Brady bunch. Like, we're not that scary, actually.
Hi, everyone. Me?
Yep.
Yeah. Look, really lovely to hear all your stories. It's the first day of term for me, so it's the beginning of the first semester, so a good opportunity to get up early and prepare. I currently teach part-time, 3 days a week. I think there's someone from the States who was teaching financial planning. So one of the subjects I teach is commerce. We have two methods in Australia, two teaching methods. So my first is TESOL, or English as a Second Language. My second is commerce and legal studies. I've been teaching for far too long. So yeah, over a couple of decades. And I think there was someone, Sally, in the international education space. So I was an international student coordinator at two really high profile schools and all that involves. So I think when I reflect on my career, I started my working life as a lawyer. I think I've had spells where I've really burnt out by devoting myself to my career, which I've since learned is not particularly healthy. And now that I've reduced my work hours to 3 days a week, I feel like I've got much better work-life balance, and I'm wanting to explore aligning or founding a business that's more aligned with my spiritual interests. Yeah.
How beautiful.
You're in the right place.
Yeah. Who's here line resonate with Nana? Like,
Absolutely.
I have a couple of careers. I've tried. I thought I know, but yet I love it, but I don't have true passion. Like, can see that I'm doing this, for the rest of my life. Who's here could identify with Nana? It's like I'm still searching.
Yeah.
We have lawyers, we have teachers, we have so many gifted women here. Karen, last but not least.
Hi, I actually don't really know how I came in here and found Catherine and all of you. I don't remember. I just kind of was I think looking for something more, you know, kind of like maybe a lot of you have been and are doing. I am first generation Asian American, live in Texas now, but I grew up in Kansas, of all places. I've lived a lot of places. I lived in California and went to law school in Minneapolis, college on the East Coast. My husband and I lived in Italy for 1.5 years when our
Oh,
youngest
wow.
was a baby for his work. And I was a lawyer for about 7 years. I went to law school because in my family, you either went to medical school or law school or became an architect or something. So I said, well, I don't want to take organic chemistry and physics, so I guess I'm going to go to law school. So I did that. And I was like, I really hate this. I'm not an arguer, you know, I don't mind having discussions, but I don't want to point at people and say like, you know, you're wrong and this is why. So it wasn't really aligned with my personality and my interests. I think kind of like, you know, Alana was saying. So I'm looking to do something different. So I have 3 kids. I stay home with them, but I've had some different businesses and careers. Right now I have an Etsy shop. I'm doing a high ticket business online and a couple of other things too that still have to do with law because, you know, I kind of want to keep up my background in that just in case I want to go into it again in the future. It's always helpful for certain things. So I'm really happy to meet all of you and just kind of see like what we're doing here.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So whether I find you or you find me, like we all have drawn each other on this journey, isn't it? It's like somehow you just know there's more for you, but yet we might not be able to articulate fully. Because a knowing is not just intellectually. Spiritually, I would say, looking at all of you guys, it's not that we wanted to suppress it, but our 3D world, on an everyday life, we don't really talk about, I think there's a spirit talking to me. Who wants to just go on and say, I think there's a telling you, I think there's a spirit talking to me, or there's a spirit talking to you. But here we are safe. So it's not just like, you know, we want to be just go all spiritual. Let's go fasting 7 days a week. I go to McDonald's. I'm sorry. So I do apologize. I shouldn't apologize. I'll go to McDonald's when I want to. So no one can tell me off, Anna. But the fact is we tap into the 4D and the 5D dimension and drawing into the future, knowing that our best self is already here with us because we have started even just like working today to be on this journey. So no matter where you have been or where you are now, you're all welcome. Just come as you are because we all are different, but this is a safe space for all of us to express our uniqueness because you are all have a mission and calling on this planet to fulfill and have this oneness and making this place a better place with your uniqueness. All agree?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not describing you guys. You can switch off the camera now and bye-bye. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Seriously, like because we all have a calling to fulfill. And I believe strongly, whether you just started or like exploring, welcome to this space. Okay. So the format for those who want to check us out is like, who is this Catherine and who is this group? So for me, yes, I've been in a career for long my practice psychology is over 20 years and I have been in private practice in business over for 20 years as well. And during the pandemic, I launched into this space in coaching because lo and behold, when I finished my undergrad in psychology, I knew I need to be a coach. But at that time, yes, I was being sent to Australia as an international student. I didn't have the heart to tell my parents, I need another few $1,000s to become a coach, or I need to continue to do my study. So I put that aside. However, my God is Jesus Christ, but for those who believe in higher power called universal divine, always bring you back to where you're supposed to. For me, I learned very hard lesson when I don't follow my heart or my intuition. Definitely have experienced burnout in my practice because I'm not only doing one-on-one, I have organization till today. So I still have international student organization come to me for outsourcing their businesses to me. Okay. So I'm one person to many, not just to my client, but to my employee to my, business associate, to my family, to many people. So I fail in a sense that definitely that's a failure to not looking after myself physically, spiritually, and mentally in that aspect as well. So I understand or could identify with most of you, where you're coming from. So till today, my son is only 9 years old. My parents are close to 80. So I have both sides directed, like pulling. But nowadays I feel that I'm centered because I know if I don't fill my cup or not fulfilling my passion, I'm not going to be able to give as 100% as a mother or wife or daughter. But first of all, we need to look after ourselves first, whether in our physical, mental, psychological, or even career, because you are not just doing a job. Okay, so that's where I'm coming from. So let's get started. So the reader has the benefit of joining us on last Thursday. We have, where's my, just give me a second to go with the 3 pillar. So for Lana and Karen, like in our program, we have 3 pillars. So the first pillar, each pillars we go through each month that we go is evergreen. So radiance, definitely what I just talked about, that looking after ourselves, not just the physical body, but we will be looking at our soul, is what we're talking about, our emotion, our willpower, and our mind, which we're going to address that today as well. And the last but not least, the spirit, about our belief and our spiritual aspect of life. And then the second pillar will be a rapport. We are not called to be an island. The second pillar will be important that we examine, checking our relationship with yourself first before we go in to say, my friend don't understand me, no one gets me, but we need to understand that who we are. And as we go along the journey to start to discover ourselves, what we truly passionate about. And this is very important that I can see when I would not be able to be honest with myself or voice out my true self, I won't be able to be true with others. Like the sisterhood here, the tribe here, that we are here for one another. So the second pillar is the inner circle, that where we really have people understand where we're coming from. Yes, we could be a lawyer, we could be a psychologist, we could be a teacher, we could be a coach, we could be a naturopath, but yet you are an unique individual. So as coming together as an inner circle, that we stand by you, whether you are high in your success, or you might be having a down day, that no matter whether you're in America or in Australia or any part of the world, we are all here for you. Well, I just had a quick chat with Alicia on Saturday, wasn't it? It's like, she's like, oh, just not having a good day. I said, okay. I know it's not her bedtime, so I call Anna, not at 2 a.m.
I've been good.
Yeah.
The last sub-pillar of rapport is about soulmate. Soulmate, we do talk about our life partner. That's ideal, okay? Some of us, I know that we have gone through relationship breakdown, or unfortunately, we might be in a relationship that is not necessarily 100% correct, but we could be in a relationship that you find that not truly fulfilled. But I'm here to guide you guys to find your soulmate or build a relationship with your partner that you will see that as your soulmate. Because ultimately, Kelvin is my husband. Our goal is, of course, we have different goals in the material, in the, in the family and things like that. But most important for our relationship, we want to be able to, on our last day on earth, we'll be able to turn around to each other and say, I have no regret in this lifetime having you as my soulmate underneath a tree with a sunset. So that's the picture that we want to see in our relationship. And of course, soulmate is not just about a partnership, our life partner. It's about people that we know. It's like, Anna always like, I don't need to hear what Catherine says, I already knew what she wants. Because we just have this connection, the knowing.
Yeah.
Okay. Even with Katrina, when she was in Melbourne, she said, yep, I know, ladies, come on, I'll make you a cup of tea, come and sit down and have a chat. Okay. Last but not least, this pillar is called rain. is reign in your dominion. So that's why I have a container. It's not just for coaches or just for real estate or just for lawyer. That's no just, because we are all part of this community. We are all called to fulfill our responsibility on this planet. Okay. So therefore for us, when I call wealth creation, it's definitely also not just referring on money terms. It's referring to our health at the same time. So if we don't have health, would you be able to enjoy your wealth? So as we continue to do our wealth creation, whether you are being an employee, I would love to see you guys being the employee that your employer thinks that they can't do without you. It's just like 20 years ago when I left my full-time employment, my employer actually asked, Catherine, is there anything we could do to keep you here with us? Because when I got married, I wasn't given the time to go for my honeymoon, because my director said, Catherine, as a school, how can we lose you during the most high time during the exam? We need you here. Otherwise, we wouldn't know what to do with the student. I said, that's good to know, but I have not sold my soul to my position that even for my honeymoon, I couldn't really go take off straight after our wedding. So I had to wait for another month. And that's another point for me. I thought, what kind of freedom would I like to have? I would like to truly have my business. And therefore, it gave me the opportunity to be more creative. So even though I say our 3 pillars is evergreen, but all the ladies could attest to here that every time we come back to each pillar, they become a different person already. They have different layer to work on. And we have so much to discuss and learning from one another. So it's given all of us, not just me, to be creative in creating content, but in creating a world that is more colorful for everyone. And last but not least, the contribution is for us, we'll be able to contribute. What does it mean by contribution? Not just by giving money, giving time, but we know that we're adding values to the society, to this planet. And therefore, it will allow us to live true to you. Because that's a core center that we have love and connection, feeling being significant on this planet, that we are making a difference and continues to grow. Because one of my pain points is I stay stagnant after 20 years in psychology. I can do my job. I know I'm good at that, but I was just going in. It's just like a robot. Oh, I feel you. I'm sorry this happened to you. But I haven't been true to myself or to my client at some point that I'm 100%. Say hi to us. What's his name, Karen? They always want to come and check on
This
you.
is Connor. Come here. He just came back from swimming with his friends.
Hello. How's your summer holiday going?
Good.
Good. Fantastic. All right. Thank you for letting mommy to have fought with us. Okay. All right. So any question about this model, even for those who have heard about this before? This is important for us to understand what are we doing today. If not, then we'll move into the next one. Now, as I said, we're going to talk about normally the procedure as well, that we are going to set the intention. For those who have been in a container, please go into the Facebook group to set your 3 intentions that you want to achieve this week. The link is actually in the chat already. Now for the others, to think about what would you like to set yourself up as successful this week, to have the 3 things, whether it's personal, family, or career, or business, that you set the 3 intention for you to accomplish this week. Because often for us, we are very good to have a long list in our mind or our brain to what to do. And times they will get stressed, like, have I done that? Have I not done that? But when we have it written down and when we take the boxes, we were covering that last Thursday as well, that actually going to increase our dopamine and actually going to help you to feel more motivated in going through that. So we have to start from 1 step at a time. Okay. So, but I want to respect all your time because some of you might have to go to work. So we are halfway through the call already. Now, the ladies, we will go into Facebook group and share about your intention, and Thursday we'll come back. All right. Now, ladies, we're going to talk about the soul. When I talk about, ask you, we are going to look at the part of the soul. What would be your first thought when I say the body, the soul, and spirit? A lot of people will say the body, the mind, and the spirit. But I believe that it's not just the mind. It's about our soul. What would you say, or what would you define your soul? S-O-U-L. Anyone want to have a go? Everyone's very quiet. There
I'm
must
not
be a right
quiet.
and wrong. Come on, Anna, what's your
I'm
soul?
trying to give everybody else a chance. Come on, guys. You've
I thought
done
we're
this.
writing our intentions.
That's right. Come on.
Okay. Soul. What's your soul, Alyssa?
Sorry, I thought we were doing intentions.
Yeah, you can do two things. You can multitask. What's wrong with you?
Multitask.
No, you can go into a Facebook group later because I want to respect everyone's
Okay.
time. Mhm.
Our soul, what is our soul? It's a part of us that's connected to information and existence that's beyond our limited knowledge.
I love the way you said that. It's okay. I'll just plug myself in.
She's trying to tap into it.
I know, it's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Okay. So the way Alicia did it, so who's here agree that our soul is only being embedded in our body, or our soul is actually beyond our body at the same time?
It's beyond.
It's beyond. It's within our body. It's within. It's outside of us. It's part of the universe. It's what keeps us connected to each other. It's what keeps us connected to ourselves, and what keeps us connected to the divine.
It's our energy. The energies are all connected. Yeah.
It's the frequency. It's the connection. For those who are the physics or math teachers here, it's like the megahertz, the millions hertz of our vibration. That's how we can feel each other. Fantastic. Okay, so what's really happening is the first pillar is really derived, from my understanding, is derived from this model as well. Our body, even though I put that, the soul is encompassed in the middle of the body, in between the spirit, but it's a drawing that to help us to understand that deep down, each of us is a spiritual being, the core. And where we could tap into our spiritual divine is through our mind, our emotion, and our will. Then the physical body is, in a sense, that it's like a temple holding all of this together. But at the same time, as Tamara said, our body is not just this physical being. Between our soul, our soul, that we tap into the divine with others at the same time. So what are these three parts? Our will. Now, how many of us say that we have a strong willpower? If I say, I don't want to eat chocolate for a month, I already felt that it's like, Catherine, don't lie to yourself. My willpower do not last if we're only going to work on that. Okay. However, what happened to our mind then? It's the conscious and the subconscious. Who's here is familiar with the iceberg models? That our conscious is about 5% above the sea level. The subconscious and the unconscious is below the sea level, that we're actually our behavior, our thought, or even our speech are affected by, actually is connected to the subconscious and the unconscious, which normally we'll do a teach on that as in a whole session as well. Okay. The subconscious mind is where we hold our deep beliefs and our attitude. It is also our feelings and our emotion and our memory as well. Therefore, that's why we say sometimes we get triggered, not because of the current incident, but it reminds us of the past. Therefore, we might be reacted. Okay. So normally we go into a deeper teaching is about when we realize, having the awareness that we have trigger is how we're going to move into the pattern of recognition, to recognize the current situation is actually affected by the past. And therefore, how is it there for us to go move into the transformation of shifting our belief and action at the same time. But more or less today, we would like to focus on the emotions. Okay, that including our love, our hate, our joy, and grief. Because people often say the negative emotion is no good. I said, I don't agree with that. Because especially when you feel angry, a lot of people say anger is not a good emotion. I don't believe there's a good or bad emotion.
An emotion.
They are emotion. Actually, our emotion is part of us to protect us. When you feel angry, who's here would like to share? What happened when you feel angry? Yes, Tamara?
I was going to say, when I feel angry, I feel a sense of having to get things done. You know, usually when I feel angry, I will get things done because someone has upset me to the point where they've made me angry, which is kind of very hard to do sometimes.
She's very good at cleaning when that happens.
I do. I clean.
You resonate with that when you're angry?
Yep.
No, not me. I don't clean. I do the opposite.
My ex-husband always knew I was really super angry when I started cleaning the walls, because I would get up on the ladder and I would start cleaning walls when I was really angry, because I had to release that energy. I had to move. I had to do something. And
so why
that's what I would do.
Why can't we express the anger?
Well, you know,
no, I'm saying to everybody, why can't we express it?
We can't, because sometimes it's not, women are not allowed to express anger. Women are not allowed to.
You're right.
You do, but most women, they're not allowed to express anger. We're seen as if we express anger, we're a bitch, we're not conforming, we're not, you know, there's something wrong with us if we express our anger. Because, you know, women are always taught to, you know, be good girls. Be a good girl. You be quiet.
Yes, Sally.
Good girls don't show anger.
Absolutely.
Then I'm
good
very
girls
bad.
don't show emotion. Good girls just do as they're told. Good girls follow. So expressing anger is not always seen as a good thing for women, but it's something we need to do. You know, let it out. Let out that pain. Let out that frustration. So when I get angry, I move forward.
Yeah.
And I can't. Yeah, exactly, Christine. You know, you're being dramatic or over emotional or hysterical. You know.
Well, I've got another one. If you don't express your anger, it comes out in different ways. You start internalizing it. You start being sick, right? Because it's eating you because you're not expressing it, or you go to the extreme where you're enraged. And that's not just that anger doesn't come out for this one instance. It's all those times, all the way back where you've suppressed it.
Yep.
Right. And then that explosion does more damage than just saying, listen, you're making me angry, F off. Or, you know, I'm not going to talk to you right now because I'm absolutely, I don't cleaning. I've never gone into the cleaning. I've just gone into expression and just taken it as it's come. I'm not saying everybody's like that, but if you take a step back and you start internalizing this shit, it's worse for you.
Yep. Okay, Anna, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's good because we know Anna really well that she does not suppress her anger or not expressing it. But who's here could identify with Tamara here? Being a good girl. Being a good girl means you don't say how you actually feel. Who's been told in your life that make sure you've been a good girl, otherwise? Okay, so the majority is we have this experience, and it is important for us to understand that what Tamara say is very good as well. She did not go into the destructive mode of punching people, which often the man would when I counsel men in the anger. She said, I need to express this energy. Instead of verbally, I go into action. So she gave her ex knowing that the sign and wonders. The sign is, I'm cleaning now. You better wonder what I'm angry with. Any one of us been like that, make sure that our partner, some of us, let people know that I'm not in a good mood. Or wait for someone, honey, are you okay?
Well done, Karen. You're my type. Yeah.
Okay. So it's not that we have two extremes, but the fact is, one thing I would like you guys to remember this today. Okay. Negative emotion is not a bad thing, but it's a protection. When you feel angry means something or someone have wronged you. So this is a very important point for us to remember. I'm feeling angry. What is the reason I'm angry? Is it really just right now someone just said something to me or reminded me something long time ago? It might not be this person, but something else or someone else have done the same thing to me. Anyone could identify that? The anger is a form of protection, but we need to not only having the awareness, but recognize it, the cause and effect. So let's move into the emotional intelligence of the self-awareness, which I have spoken already. Now, how many of us will say, I don't have the self-awareness of knowing that I'm angry? Anyone? No? Okay. Then let's quickly move into, or would you guys like to talk more about the self-awareness? Because I think we all are very intelligent. Okay. But it's more about the self-regulations. Who's here say that I'm very good at regulating my own emotions?
Well, let's be honest. No.
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 It depends. If I have to go into a client, I can regulate my emotions.
Mm.
I can walk through that office door and I'm fine. It's all regulated. I can come out and break down. Absolutely. But I'm not always in control of those emotions. Trust me.
But exactly, Tamara, when you say, we are so good to put on a mask. Okay, even though I'm angry, I need to go into work now. So even you get so angry during the traffic, let's say before the pandemic, you need to drive. Someone just cut you, it's like, I'm late. And then when you walk in the office, it's like, hi, how are you? How was your weekend? Oh, very good. It was wonderful.
But also it's about, people always say, how are you? But they don't actually want to know how you are, or be yourself, but they don't actually want you to be yourself.
No.
So if you've learned to cut off, which I have all my life, to identify emotions and to regulate them, it's a very hard thing because unless you feel safe. And sometimes people misread signals as well, so it can be complex.
Okay, so here's another one, just so that some of us may be able to disconnect. I disconnect from my work and my personal. My partners have never worked out how I can walk outside that door and manage a multi-million-dollar company and not worry about what just happened inside, because that was my safe place. Being at home was not a safe place. So it was just cut it there and just keep going in that direction, because I had more control on the outside than I did on the
inside.
That's correct.
Yeah. Who could identify with Anna? We box ourselves. Oh, you're at the right place. When Anna wants to yell, you don't want to be in the same room. We love when she yells.
It's scary.
Yeah, but I encourage everyone else to yell, Catherine. That's really important to let
Trust me.
Yeah, it is.
I encourage. Ask Tamara when we were doing our individual session.
Yes.
Coco was a bit scared.
I was there.
Getting my mommy to scream. No. All right. I forgot, because it's not just about a teacher, because I want all of us to have this awareness. It's like, for those who have get to download this one, I will actually say, I would like you to give yourself a score with each of these part out of 10. is like about your self-awareness. You are very good at your self-awareness about you being angry or like being emotional. Score yourself a 10 out of 10, or you might have very little awareness, then you score yourself 1. So take a couple of minutes to give yourself 5 different scores to each of the self-regulation, empathy, motivation, and social skills, so that is something for you to remember. It's like, which part of this or which couple of this I would like to continue to work on after this call to help you to understand where you are at, because it doesn't matter where you are now or where you were. It's more about what is the next 1 millimeter shift that you're going to help you to transform and shift the paradigm, not change, because your brain will be very like, what are you trying to do to me? It's 6 a.m. in Australia. You want me to change already? Or on a Sunday afternoon, you're talking about changes? Are you kidding me? No, I'm serious. But it's this 1 millimeter shift that slowly to help you to move forward. Because if you could make a 1 millimeter shift each day, that's about 37% of increase after 365 days of your movement. Okay, for those who have finished, maybe you want to just quickly unmute yourself and say, what is your score right now? And then we move forward with the sharing. Yep, Alicia, you done or you need more time?
I'm done.
You're done, good. Okay, so what's the score right now for your self-regulation? Just type into the chat so we will know. So we're not alone that I'm only a 2 out of 10 with my self-regulation. 6, very good.
So Sally's comment that, it's delayed, not regulated. I think that's me. It's like, I feel like I'm regulating it, but it just kind of builds up maybe instead. And so then eventually one day I just go.
Yes, but
I'm
that's
like,
what Anna just said.
I'm actually screaming. Yeah, everybody needs to leave right now.
Yeah, you stuff it.
It's a trigger, Karen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a trigger. Sometimes we're all regulated. We get to a point where suddenly the regulation's out the door because in a split second they've triggered you on something so small like spilling a glass of milk on the table. Oh my God, so that was just the icing on the cake. I've just cleaned. I've done. Nobody appreciates. It's just that small trigger that goes bang, and it doesn't have to be a lot. But that's not the issue. The issue is why it affected you that way.
Yeah.
The self-awareness that comes with the self-regulation. That's a really, I've learned this myself. It's just, I don't know. I just say to people, don't be so hard on yourself.
Self-regulation, Sally.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, is it delayed or self-regulated? We thought we are self-regulated, but we just been suppressing it. Bottle. Is this analogy? Just think about the volcano, the lava being underneath. It's still burning, it's still running, but when it has happened, when it's time to go too much, bang. Can you see that picture? Could you identify with that?
That happened to me. I think I delayed for like 29 years.
Was that September last year?
No, I'm 33. And then the volcano erupted for a whole year, and I was actually scared of myself because I was like, I didn't know I was so
angry.
Psycho angry. Yeah.
But that comes from hurt. And that comes from hurt.
Huh?
That comes from hurt. That comes from pain and hurt.
Oh, you're so polite. I just said fangry.
Sally's just full of gems today.
Oh, just love you guys being so honest. So who's here feel that like we are learning so much from one another? It's like it's so much sharing and so honest because have you guys had this conversation with your friends before? It's like how well we regulate our emotion.
They'd look at you weird. They'd look at you weird. Yeah, they're all regulating. They're all, what's the term Sally used? Delaying it?
Yeah, they're all delaying, they're all masking, they're all fighting.
That's right. So if you turned around and said to them, I'm really effing angry and I want to talk about this. What? What? You can't talk like that. You know, like it's just not heard.
Beautiful. So in self-regulation, it's important for us to acknowledge and understand our emotion. This is part of us. We cannot just be always joyful and happy because life is not that simple. So we often say, don't judge the book by the cover until you read the story. I'm very honored to know some of your story. And therefore, where you are at is how you have been traveling in the past. But every day we have a new opportunity to start a new chapter. Exactly, Tamara. For some of us have experienced that. Shh, you're too loud. Why are you like that? A Chinese, Karen, do you feel that? A Chinese girl do not jump up and down and scream. That was me. Oh yeah, Sally is like, I've been in China. Yeah.
Men are better than mine too.
Okay. So, but that's very important. Sally pointed out that the delay is that going to help us to regulate our internal well-being. And Anna pointed out that you get sick. How many of you have actually have had a friend or have family members that who has cancer or suffering from cancer? Absolutely. If you just look at just think about them. Are they a happy, chirpy person most of the time? Not just saying inside or outside. Or they often are angry about the world or about always something is going wrong with them or for them or to them. It's not for them. So people who suffer from cancer often have other mental health issues or emotional dysregulation as well. There's a high correlation.
Yeah.
Or physical illness. Now,
I was just going to say, I've had that by not regulating my emotions, by not being aware of what was going on for me emotionally. I actually ended up in hospital. And I wasn't allowed to drive for 3 months because they had no idea what was going on with me, because the right side of my face all froze. And I started having seizures down the right side of my body. And that went on for weeks. So I had MRI scans, I had all these investigations trying to find out what was going on with me. And it turned out it was brought on by stress, and I hadn't released it and I hadn't worked on it. So it can affect you in the immediate sense as well, and can affect you in ways that you don't understand or know why, but it's stress because we're not letting it out. It's impacting our bodies every day. So it's important to know what's going on and learn how to identify it and regulate and look at ways of letting that out, letting it escape. Because if we don't, it impacts us. It really does.
It does.
Sorry, there's one thing that I was going to say, and that is that you have to own your emotions.
Yeah. Beautifully said. Beautifully said, Davida.
Yeah, that's very important, but it's hard to own your emotions if you actually disassociated them from the very beginning. I'd rather not have them.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what happened, but I was actually patting a dog and I went to stand up and I nearly fainted, you know. And so it's easier for me when I don't have impacted emotions, because it affects how I think, it affects my tiredness, it affects my day.
Yeah, thank you, Helen, being honest here. Lana, you don't have to put up your hand when you want to speak. Just start talking, because you can see like everyone. Come on, Lana.
That's funny, isn't it? Yeah, I never really thought about it, but it just struck me at the second school I taught at, I actually developed 2 tumours that had to be removed.
Wow.
Luckily, they ended up being benign, but I think it was definitely stress related.
Guys, you'd be amazed at how many people do not listen to their body.
Mm.
Your body tells you in every way something's not right.
Yeah, I've got a copy of Gabor Mate's book on my bedside table. He's doing the rounds at the moment, but he talks about that intersection between stress and the body.
Yeah. Because it's
Have you
actually
heard of him? He's the Canadian guy.
Yeah, have heard of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I don't know, I'm not a psychologist, like well, actually my mother calls it psychologist because she can never say the psych. She says psychologist. But for me, it's the trauma. When you've faced trauma as a child, your body starts building its armor. Then many children don't, but I was very lucky that my mind went into building an armor to protect myself, which meant I cut myself off and I was louder. I wasn't going to be told to shut up. I wasn't going to be told what to do. I wasn't going to be told to be a good girl because, mate, bad things happen to good girls. Okay? That's my mindset. But when you're not feeling well, when there's something bothering you and you don't tackle it, your body starts to go, I got a headache, I'm not feeling good, I'm tired, I don't know why. I got fibromyalgia. Before I came to Catherine, I had fibromyalgia diagnosed 4 years before. And she said something to me and I went, oh my God, it is a fucking, yeah, okay, I'll get it. So I started working on healing myself with the group, but learning meditations and healing within the light. So I don't have that pain. I don't live with that pain like I used to. I don't have that in general. I might have my leg twinge, but I'm doing particular exercises now to strengthen it. But yeah, fibromyalgia it's absolutely cripples you pain-wise, moving your wrist this way, moving your arm that way, your sudden movement on your toes. So you're feeling it's hypersensitive to pain. And that is because of the stuff you're holding back. And I expressed myself. I thought I was expressing myself, guys, but this issue came from something that happened to me years ago. So once I started working on that and just acknowledging it, I got better. Yeah. So this is, it's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that you had the tumours, but I'm also glad you got rid of them and that they weren't malignant. So it's good.
Quite fortunate. Yeah, I know. But I think just too much compliance and conformity and so on. And yeah, I think by the end I just had enough. So yeah.
But we are no longer here to conform. But yet we don't have to scream at everyone that we pass by and say, look at me, I'm me. But we have the right to express ourselves.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm learning so much from you guys. You guys can take over from the call and discuss this because it's amazing. I love this. And we also have our in-house naturopath, Katrina, here. I'm sure in her line of work, she would have seen a lot of people carry their emotion in their body, but especially their muscle, isn't it? Their bones,
It's
Everything.
every organ in the body. And in
every
Chinese
organ.
medicine, there's a little saying, and it literally converts to anger is shit on the liver.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And interestingly, I see more and more now NAFLD, which is non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, than ever before. So interestingly, that's on the increase and people still are suppressing emotions and not dealing with that. Cancer, anger, cancer eats away at you, as does anger that's not suppressed and dealt with. So start connecting. Yes, dis-ease, exactly right, Christine. Being ill at ease with the body. Because the body never ever does anything without a reason. It's finding the reason for that. And yes, we can look at it. There can be genetic mutations, lifestyle, etc. However, we can't discount the soul aspect, the emotional aspect, and repressed. And trauma is one quite often as you start to go into people's story, you start to realize there's been a traumatic event. And that traumatic event or trigger is very different for every person. Because we all deal with trauma, and what we class as trauma is different. I've worked with a lot of people with PTSD. And for some people, Nellie being raped is just as traumatic as a sexual assault happening. And that's how they process it through. So it's every person's trigger, what they can deal with is different, and it's understanding that and honoring that for people.
Yeah.
Because everyone has different filters, everyone has different experiences, everyone has different toolkits, everyone has different strengths and abilities, and all sorts of different things. So yeah, well, you know, we all experience different things in different ways. The perfect example was given to me by a friend of mine who's a policeman, and he said you can go into say a crime scene, and there can be 15 people who witness the same thing, but they will describe that person 15 different ways. A, because they were sitting in a different position in the cafe. B, their eyes work differently because some people might wear glasses, some people don't wear glasses. You know, they've had different experiences, so you know they have different ways of seeing that person or experiencing that person or experiencing that event. So each person will give a different description of the event.
Exactly. Now I'm aware that we're going into something very deep. If any one of you feel uncomfortable, could stay behind and have a quick chat with me. We touch on something very sensitive here. For those who are new, especially new to us, we do go deep and very open. But if you feel like the word we say, if you feel that you've been triggered or uncomfortable, definitely reach out to us so that you're not alone. We are here to support you. I can feel that our heart just drop. It's not a bad thing that, you know, we feel trigger. It's about our body is telling us something, I need your attention. Today possibly is your day to start on this healing journey. And now underlying things in our group is we all are going through transformation, but at the same time, it's a healing journey for all of us too. We hold each other dearly to our heart that we go through healing. I'm very lucky that I got to do, you know, internal work in my early 20s. So my childhood trauma or anything like that, I'll say I'll overcome most of them, but of course they still get triggered. But now I'm actually working on generational trauma. Because my ancestor came from China. It was very tough. Like Lana said, yep, my ancestor from Greece. Anna is, the country is no longer around.
I have no country. No.
I'm so serious, you still make me laughing like, okay, so we are all on a healing journey. Okay, so, but I can see most of us here is not putting ourselves as a victim. We are here to be the hero on our journey. So therefore, moving to the next part is the empathy. I'm sure we all here are very good at empathizing others, how they feel. Okay, anyone here feel that? Helen is okay, all right. I understand that, you know, there's a challenge to you when we want to talk about emotion, but overall, when even Helen said, I can't identify emotion, but she knows that we are happy because when we laugh, that's a sign for us to feel happy. All right. So what is your score for empathy? Wow, we are all very good at that.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Tamara, how about you share from your side, being a counselor, the empathy is kind of like she's so successful in her business, even though she just 6 months Oh, 12 months now.
12
that
months.
Yeah.
12 months. Yeah.
So she crossed her benchmark when she first started working with us. She had on
One
average
or two clients.
one or two clients. Yeah. But once she started working on herself and understand herself more, better, it's like, where's your business is at right now?
Usually I sit about 7 or 8 a week, which I'm happy with. Yeah.
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 So what's happening in our business is also very parallel in our personal life. When we start working on ourselves, your energy become more positive. You become more magnetic. Tamara doesn't really need to go out and advertise herself. And she's doing a lot of good. But let's focus on empathy. Before you start, Tamara, I'm aware it's like 7 past
7.
5 minutes. Yep. Okay. So does anyone need to go? I want to respect your time because it's just so excited that we got feel free if you need to go, but we are running over time already. Do apologize for that. But Tamara, keep going. Sorry.
So empathy, yes. If I'm always have been very empathic. I definitely feel people, but it allows me to work with my clients in a way, or with my participants in a way that's needed for them. Because, as I said, my clients come to me with difficulties, relationship difficulties, and especially when they have non-traditional relationship styles. If I wasn't empathic, if I didn't listen to them, if I didn't have empathy for their situation, I could do a lot of damage to them. I could do a lot of damage because they've reached out to me for support. If I'm not, if I don't display empathy, if I don't have empathy for their situation, I can cause more damage and do more hurt for my clients. So, understanding that empathy and that connection and having that connection with people is really great. But I also have, lots of empathy for everybody I meet. Everyone is on a path. Everyone has experiences. Everybody needs support at different stages for different reasons and in different ways.
Yeah, it's very important, isn't it? Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yes, Karen?
I guess I don't really understand the ranking of the 1 to 10, because for empathy, I feel like I can feel people's emotions from far away. They're coming at me.
You're empathic.
Do I say that's a 10? I don't like that. Sometimes I'm just kind of I feel the energy coming towards me and I just want to walk another direction because
you're empathic, honey. Yeah. You're empathic.
I don't want to be that.
and that there will be learning how to protect yourself from those negative energies.
Yeah.
How do you protect yourself from taking that on?
Well,
yeah. And I can support you with that.
We can do that. We can show you, because a lot of us,
very tiring.
A lot of us in this group are empath, so we can feel. But that's why we can find it it's a bit weird to tell a girlfriend did you just thought about that thought? Because I actually can feel people's thought, not necessarily audibly, but it's a very important, because as an empath, we can sense. That's why often that people say, please don't be so emotional. What's wrong with you? I thought it's not me, but
sometimes you don't even know what that is, Karen. Some people don't realize the reason why they don't like to be in a room with people, because it's not just being in the room, it's what they bring with them. And it feels like that you're cornered. You don't know, you don't know where you're going or what's coming at you. So it's about being able to have your space.
Yeah.
Right. Just protecting that space.
So this is what we always talk about. How would we protect ourselves is to increase our vibration so that we don't get others' negative, vibration to come and push us into ourselves, that we feel like your heart often will raise. It's how come my heart rate just raises some, so significantly all of a sudden? Because we feel, okay. So being empathy is not that you feel others' emotion, but being empathy is understand where they are at that point in time. How many of us actually said, "Oh, look at that person. He might have woke up on the wrong side of the bed," because we can feel he's not happy or angry. So it's "Oh, good morning," and you start running the other side.
Or somebody who needs a hug. you know that somebody needs a hug, and it might be somebody that's walked into a party or somebody that's next to you. I mean, Catherine knows, she was sitting next to this beautiful woman in a meditation center, and I said, she needs a hug, Catherine. You're right next to her. Just hug her. And you should have seen the release that the woman had when someone held her. Just a simple hug. You know, you could feel the waves of tension and anger, and then she hugged her, and it was, you know, it's, so it's feeling. So there's so many things that you can do when you understand what you're getting, the messages you're getting, and how you control it once you've learned to protect yourself.
Yeah. So that's a difference with the empath and empathy. It's not like we can't feel, but it's like, how much do we understand where this person is at? Like for those who have been in a management position.
Yep.
Even though you don't want to have empathy for your, subordinate, but then it's like, okay, I need to calm down. Even they have done such a big doo-doo in work, it's like, we need to listen from their side of the story. Okay, so being able to empathize with others is important, but to what point it costs you your emotion? Oh, it's okay. Let's not rock the boat. Let's not talk about it. Shh, 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 shh. How many of us have done that? Is that called empathy? Or we just being a pushover, trying to be nice? Everyone got very.
I've had many employees, and I usually use the term I feel. I feel, I think. How do you feel? It brings on a different onset of emotions from that person. It also makes them feel that they can express themselves when someone is talking to them in a caring manner. I'm not just a boss, but I'm also human. And I don't think I've ever been a boss. It's just a generalization. But yeah, it's very true about empathy and empathetic, being
empath.
An empath. However, they're both in line with one another. It's just being able to learn to differentiate when you're feeling, when you're hearing, because some empaths you don't hear the words, but you feel the words. You feel the energy, you feel the touch, push.
Some empaths can actually feel the pain. My son, when he was working in security, if someone walked through with a broken arm, he felt the pain of their broken arm. You know, he could feel, and he's very empathic. So that was his way. He could feel the physical.
I never thought of men as being empaths, but after this conversation, I think that Elon is 100% an empath.
Oh, wow. Really?
Oh, yes, darling.
We already said that. Now it's taking you up to your 33.
He's always like, person's energy. I don't want them to be my customer. And I'd be like, don't like, why are you judging? They didn't do anything. They didn't. Why do you have to comment on everyone's energy? And like always being like, be nicer, or and I think he must be an empath.
He is. He's actually wired that way, honey. He knows when you're not
very spiritual.
He is very. He's ethnic. He's WOG. I love it.
Okay, good. Now, any question does that help everyone understand empathy and being an empath? Because I believe most of us here are very high on being an empath.
Hey, Lana, were you going to say something? I thought you were going to say something. No?
No. I have to be an empath at school because I teach very vulnerable and disadvantaged students. So, yeah.
How do you feel when you get home? Do you feel like you're going to wash yourself?
Look, I'm lucky I actually work from home. It's an online school.
Okay.
So I'm fortunate about that. But yeah, it can be draining.
It doesn't stop the energy from coming through. It doesn't stop the energy from coming through, you know.
Mm, mm.
So,
So yeah, I have learnt to use strategies and techniques to try to protect myself. But yes, it's an interesting topic.
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
here we talk about everything that you don't want to talk about out there.
It's not, you don't want to talk about out there, not
No, that
necessarily
just-
everyone understand or identify.
to.
Yeah. Okay.
Ah.
So Sally is our NLP master practitioner here. She talked about in the chat is like when we say we see, we notice, you know, when we hear, when you say, so that is like help you to identify in what way those non-verbal sensory. Okay.
Mm.
And it's important. This is one way to help you to understand where's your empathy coming from, when like to say, I can feel this or I can see it. Ask the girls, because I always say, oh, I see that. But actually this situation is not right in front of me. I say, oh yeah, I see that this is this. I say, Tamara, would you mind? I see what's happening. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, but like that information just come to me, or I say, Anna, hang on, something coming down from upstairs. Everyone's like, what is you? So often that is a message come through to me. I say, okay, some of you need this. I might not know, but it's about us drawing the energy from upstairs to come through. And then Tamara said, yep, I felt the same. But she doesn't say, I see. I said, hang on, I see this. And she said, I feel this. So this is like a jigsaw puzzle for us. It's like, I'm not saying, oh, I better manipulate Anna to do this for me. So hang on, Anna, I think that's a message for you. No, it's not this way. Okay. But often we might be at other people's like, how come you're so manipulative? You always say things like this. I said, no, I'm not. I said, I just have a message for you. You believe it or not, just take it with you. But often among our friends, they say, Catherine, I don't know how you know that, but what you just told me the other day is actually turned out exactly the way that you describe it. Karen, now you understand why you're empath. You're muted. No, you're
You're muted.
mute.
No, we can't hear you. Sorry.
Sorry about that. I
Don't
muted
be
because my
polite,
son was
just
like
unmute.
yelling at his video game upstairs. I was just saying, I never thought about like the seeing or the hearing or things, because I have certain friends or my husband who are like, did you see that? You see that? I'm like, no, I didn't see that. Like, I don't see the things, like I feel them.
Yeah.
You know, I sense them, I feel them. I might not hear it, I might not see it, but it's like, I don't even need to do that because it's just coming in here.
Yeah.
But I
Just
guess it makes sense that people do,
So-
you know, in different ways.
Yeah, but the more you work on yourself, the more you open yourself, the more will come. And it will be, you might choose not to see and say, don't show, don't see, I don't want to see it. But it opens you. There's more and more that your power within starts coming out. So
Blocked it all my whole childhood, not allowed to express emotions or feel them or see them. So at some point in my adulthood, I was like, well, I don't even know how to be passionate about something because I don't know what that feeling is like.
Yeah. And definitely been there. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Because I used to say, I don't know how to be happy. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that looks for me, because I had to shut everything down. So as an adult, it was, well, how do I feel happy? I don't know that emotion. What is that emotion? How does that look? How does that feel? So, you know, how do you feel passionate about something when you don't know what passion is, when you don't know how to express it, when you don't know how to feel it? Because, you know, as you say, Karen, we've had to shut everything down as a child. And especially if we say, oh, well, you know, I feel that this is going to happen, or I think that that's going to happen, and people go, oh, you can't say that. People are going to think you're psycho. You know, you can't talk to people about the voices you hear in your head because, you know, that's a bit weird. They're going to put you on drugs to stop that. You know, we're always told to suppress ourselves. If you don't fit into the norm, if you don't conform, if you don't do as you're told, if you're not, you know, people aren't going to like you. People aren't going to listen to you. People aren't going to accept you if you're a little bit different. if you express how you are as a person. If you don't fit to that norm, you're not going to be accepted. So we all shut it down. We all stop it until we get to that point where we go, no, that's not me. What is this? I need to sort this out. I don't like walking into a shopping centre because I can feel everyone's energy and I feel the negativity and I feel the upset and I feel the hurt. So I don't like walking into those places. How do we protect ourselves from that? How do we understand that? How do we work out why that makes us feel uncomfortable? And it's only by getting together in groups like this and being open and supportive and caring with each other that we can work it out, that we can work out who we are. We can accept ourselves.
So
and that's
true.
why it's important.
Yep. Thank you, Tamara. Thank you, Karen. Being vulnerable is important because it's not just about our childhood being told to keep quiet. But okay, Sally, thank you. But the more important is throughout life, we got hurt, we got trauma. We choose to isolate ourselves. So therefore, we won't get hurt again. I won't ask you guys who has been there. It's very confronting. But ask yourself this question. Have I shut myself down not to feel, not to relate to people, not to go out into the world? That's a way to protect you. Has that done any good for you? Are you truly fulfilling your calling and your passion by shutting yourself down? I'll call that just being survival. We just survive. But do you really experience fulfillment in your everyday life? I'm a very good example. Yes, Karen, as you know, Chinese, you better find a job or find a degree that you end up with a title. But I actually did a Bachelor of Science. There's no title. You don't know, even just my auntie and uncle. It's my fellow students that studying, my high school friends like, so what are you going to be if you do a science? You're not engineering, you're not engineer, you're not accountant and so forth. So I said, no, I'm going to be a psychologist, but it took me 8 years. But I just survived after 20 years of, I thought I love to help people. Yes, I truly love people and help people. But psychology is not going to help me to fulfill every aspect of my life that to help me to truly do what I love. Because people also ask, being a coach and psychologist, what's the difference? I said, that's a big difference. I'm not saying I don't want to follow the regulation, but being a psychologist, our relation is only being in the therapeutic room. I'm not a real person to my client. You don't know how many times I bump into my client in supermarket. They said, this is a fantasy to see you here. You actually need to come and do shopping. I said, wow, I'm a human being, but that's something that I felt like I could not be really true to my client at the same time. Say, hey, we all struggle, but it's just that I'm perhaps maybe a step or two ahead of you. And it took me a long time to acknowledge that, I'm a coach, a guide, a light worker, and a healer. But I'm here, I want to see you all not repeat the mistake that took me dearly to waking up to my true calling. So therefore, it led to the next point of our discussion is our motivation. How motivated are we going to work on our emotion? Because my struggle was, hang on. Let's go your motivation in terms of working on your emotion. Because are we motivated each day to improve that 1%? Or we continue to shove it down like the lava and hopefully it won't explode one day? What's your score of your motivation to shift a millimeters per day? Yes, we start working ourselves as we understand ourselves more of our emotion. You feel more energetic. Who's here also noticed that people who are often angry or depressed, they don't have much energy. Any one of you have your girlfriend often tell you, I'm so tired. And the next thing you know that they get angry with their kids, with their husband. No one is doing the right thing. No one's understanding who they are.
Huh?
Or you want to be like Catherine with the energized bunny. When I'm up, when I have enough sleep, and enough food, I'll be a very energized bunny. So if you want to torture me, don't give me sleep, don't give me food. I will be a very bad person. You sure you can see that? Sorry, Anna, were you going to say something?
Well, motivation, and do you self-motivate, and do you need others to help you? There's a big difference. Here we've got the support. The motivation is we've got somebody that we can buddy up with, or somebody we can call and ask for, to talk to help guide. I'm self-motivated. I've always been a motivator. I just do. So I've always got energy to motivate. And you keep bringing in saying, yeah, hey, you got to take a break, got to relax, got to enjoy. But I enjoy helping others in that way. Because for motivation for me is just being here the next day. So if I'm up, it's fantastic. I've made it. I've made it. Yeah. So this
is very special to Anna, because since she was age of 2, she often told you won't have long. As a child, when she lay in her hospital bed, she overheard the nurses and doctors said she won't make it overnight. At the age of 16, she was told you might not live till next year. Every year, she was told you won't have long.
Yep.
So along the way, we might be hurt. We might not want to continue to improve ourselves. What's the point? When I open up to my friends, they fail me. When I opened it to my friends, they use it against me. Alicia, I feel you. Because you're a very genuine person, you put your heart out there, you love your friends, you help them. But often, along the way, there are people, I would say it's a betrayal.
Absolutely.
And we shut ourselves down. But today, I want to challenge you all. Would that stop you to be the best version of yourself because of our past hurt or experience?
Nope. No.
I can feel you guys. It's a big challenge, especially for those ladies who are new to us here.
The question is whether they want to be the better version of themselves. It's not up to other people to make you there. It's up to you.
Yeah.
You choose to be you.
Yes. Yes. So in this container, we don't do it for you. We do it with you.
Yeah, that's correct.
It's a journey that you travel with us. No matter where you are at this point in life. Even with our ladies here, at times Tamara will get a snap on the head, the back of her head from me is like, darling, I know it's difficult, but are we going to give, let's say, her ex the power when we go into the scarcity mode of, I won't have a roof over my head? I said, okay, darling, I know. But could you pull out your bank account and look at how much money have gone into that this week? That's my slap for her. Yes, we do get emotional. That's the time we learn to regulate. Yes, we could be scared because for over 30 years, you thought there's a man who truly loves us. All of a sudden, overnight, how could he do this? And I'm sure, Tamara, I'm not saying, you're not the only one, but some of us will have this experience in the past. How could he fail us? Okay. My challenge to you is, what lesson could you learn from this? Once we fall down, it's not a failure. The failure is when you choose not to stand up again.
And just remember, it comes sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, but it will happen. You just got to be willing.
Yeah, definitely. We're here to help you to overcome your challenge. All right. Anyone want to share about the motivation? Everyone is very highly motivated. It's like, let's do something. This is so good.
Well, I do. Because I was asking myself this question this morning and yesterday about, I had an upsetting thing happen with a friend, and then it brought back all these memories that I had suppressed of like many times growing up that similar things have happened, which really shaped who I was as a young adult till I started working in the group. And I was asking myself, do I want to go back in my shell? Because that would feel safer than dealing with, sorry.
Okay.
Hey, honey.
It's not a call if I don't cry. It would just feel safer than being hurt by just people all over. Like,
So
Yeah.
that person hurt you, but you know now that you can pick up the phone and speak to people who won't,
yeah.
people who will listen. All right. I can talk about betrayal. I can talk about betrayal.
Yeah.
But I think it's that'd be another day. But it doesn't matter how much you love that person. Doesn't matter who that person was, your best friend, your sister, your mother. When they hurt you, when they betray you, because you've given your heart to them, it really hurts.
Yeah.
It really hurts, and it's devastating. So it's like another knife to the heart. Okay.
Yeah.
But you've got others that are there now, Alyssa. You know that.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to move to Australia.
We'd love you to move over here, darling.
We'd have
Definitely move to Melbourne.
No,
There's plenty
I'll
of
move
room
to
for
Australia
you.
now. Let's go.
Let's go.
Come. It's so cold here. No, I'm kidding.
No,
I'm
if you
here.
go to Queensland, then we'd have to go up there. Oh.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I've moved from Queensland. Don't like that place.
Well, you
Katrina
literally
knows I
say
love
you found
that.
yourself here, didn't you?
Oh,
found-
absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good.
I
Okay.
don't hate Queenslanders. I just don't like the weather in Queensland. And Katrina knows I still love her.
I love that you love each other. That's so cute. Okay. Anyone else would like to share? Yes. I'm so honored that you guys feel safe to share some of the deepest feelings or emotion that you have. And
There
you might
is-
not have done this outside this container.
Can I jump in? Davida, did you want to say something?
Mhm.
No, okay.
Nope.
Well, you need to ask permission, Anna.
Well, because I'm seeing something and I need to ask.
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel that someone here needs to say something and is really concerned about what we would say if they said it. So I just feel that. I just want to say that you're okay. There's no judgment. There's no judgment to say how you're feeling, because this is the reason why we're all here. We needed a place. We needed our people, good or bad or indifferent. It does not matter. It does not matter. So, yeah. So just know that.
Yeah. All right. Okay. It's all right. When you feel this is the time to share, no need to put up your hand, just unmute yourself, okay? Last but not least, about our social skills. How would you score your social skills? I score myself 11 out of 10.
I'm 8 because I always put my foot in my mouth.
Oh, no. Like, what do you-
No.
No.
You put your foot in your mouth. Well, if that's the case, then I've put my entire body in something.
Helen, you're doing really well. I understand what you meant, but like you're doing really well with like, this your situation. Okay. All right. So even though I say I can do really well, yes, sometimes Alicia, I know what I mean. We may put out our foot in our mouth is because we can feel. And some people might be shocked that when we start having discussion with them, it's like, how would this person know so much? But it's not your fault. You possibly have a message for that person, but is it that person willing to receive? In the coaching world, we love to talk about the cause and effect. Are you living at cause when you know something? Possibly we could make it better, no matter whether it is challenging, difficult, or not easy. We'll live at cause to not fixing it, work on it, slowly shifting it. Or we live at effect and choose to say, oh, poor me again. I'm not going to socialize or see my girlfriends anymore because no one loves me. Who would that you like to be? The first Catherine or the second Catherine? And then he's like, don't take Catherine out. She just chat up people like along the street and just keep talking, and it would take us an hour from one end to the other.
Absolutely.
Don't feel alone.
I'm cool with that. Do not have a problem with that.
Okay. But what is the reason that it's important for us to continue to develop our social skills? What do you think it would be for you? We're very good at our social skills, but what might be to do to our own detriment?
Not being the real you. When you're doing social skills, it should be you speaking and not the mask. But that takes practice because you've been wearing a mask. So it's just helping you pull that mask off and say, this is the real me. Good, bad, ugly, indifferent, doesn't matter, but this is the real me. You love me. Yeah, I'm that person. That person that's talking to you the last 20 years has been some part of me, but not all of me. That people are either going to love you or not. I'm not out there to I'm not a people pleaser. Is that right, Tamara?
Yeah, you're not a people pleaser.
There we go.
I have been.
Yeah, but you're in a different. No, you know what? We won't let people know what you do.
No. I'm just me.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, there's always a time and a place for everything, isn't it? Or I use myself as an example. Yes, I'm so talkative and things like that. But sometimes it could be a mask for me because I'm trying to avoid people to ask me the real question. So I can chit-chat a lot of stuff. What chocolate do you like? I can teach you where to get the best chocolate in Melbourne. I can hear my own voice and he's like, Catherine, haven't you learned to listen to others? Not just your own voice.
Is the best place to get chocolate in Melbourne.
No, disagree. I'll have a debate with you after this, okay?
Okay.
I know the best place. The best
There's no
place.
argument. There's no argument. I'm sorry, Tamara. I love you. You're the master chef. But Catherine knows the chocolate places I've never even heard of, and I've been in Melbourne a lot longer than her.
Well, why hadn't she told me about them? Hello, I need them. Like, we've got to have this discussion. You've hidden this from me, woman.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, I bought chocolate back from Paris for you girls. Like, stop complaining. Actually, Alicia might be able to bring us a chocolate. No, okay. Sorry, I just diversified. They're in America.
But does she know the best dairy-free chocolate?
That's it. Well, get the dairy-free.
Who wants to talk about chocolate? She's got baklava. Why aren't we going to get baklava in Bali?
Oh, what are you eating, Alicia? You're so bad now. That's why I'm calling you bad. Like, whoa, look at that grapes. The size of the grapes.
You're going to look so good when you come back from Bali by the sounds of this conversation.
Heads up. No grapes can go anywhere near tomorrow or any of our stuff in the hotel room.
No.
Giant apple.
She can't.
Oh, it's plum. Oh, it's plum, not grapes.
Looks like a grape.
Yeah.
It's a plum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's huge.
All right.
It's not a grape. Huge grape.
Well, there's
So
grapes
again,
that size somewhere in Greece, I'm pretty sure. Sorry.
That's a plum. That's a small plum then.
It's like the what do you call it? The big fat Greek wedding. You know, Greeks invented the word. Greeks have better oranges. Greeks have. I love it.
We don't apologize for that, Lana. We are very cultural, very sensitive here. It's like the bloody Chinese.
Isn't there a competition between the Chinese and the Greeks invented everything?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
there is.
definitely. Definitely.
So the Chinese created, they made the pasta, the Italians, my God.
So what?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Go on, Anna.
Go on. No. It's just, I was going to say, Lana, what's your experience in relation to, the competition between the Chinese and the Greeks?
Look, I don't mind it. I think the cultures are have quite a lot of similarities. So I taught students from Asia for a very long time, and I think they ended up liking the fact that I was also from a different ethnic background, and we could relate on that level. But yeah, I just think they're different, and each culture has its strengths and weaknesses. So yeah, I think you asked me about competition. I don't think it should be a competition.
Yeah, we all work together. Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so I don't think there's any struggle for us to be a social being. We're all very good at here. Okay, but again, don't to do the detriment of not being true to yourself. And that's the 5 part of the emotional intelligence for us to continue to work on.
My trick is to be able to do that in every situation. It's all right to do it in this container or in certain containers, but if you speak to Anna and Tamara when I was at their place, I'm just slightly different now because I'm not 100%, like I can't be, I am myself there, but I'm not as free as the other three that were there.
All right,
Thank you, Helen. It's beautiful to be honest. So we'll be aware as well. So it's our social skill to be aware of your needs, Helen. That's why you're part of us here. That's why we say this is safe here. Yes, on Zoom, we might be slightly different. But when you met us in person, are we any different? Yeah, exactly. So it's the confidence we are here to help you to build. And when you feel more confident in person, and therefore when you go out into the world, because you also started working, you're also starting your own new business. That's where we help you along the way to do it with you. So you're not alone. I know it is not easy for you to say it out loud. Who's here respect Helen so much that she acknowledged?
We love you, Helen.
But she knows she keep working on it.
We're
Yes,
really
Helen
proud
has a
of you,
lot
babe.
of challenge along her in her life, but she has not given up. So to be honest, when you get to know Helen better, I would say none of us here would have any excuse when Helen is still standing and working on her own with her, I would say trauma, Helen, if you don't mind saying. She had experienced a lot of trauma and betrayal in her life. I would say none of us here would have the excuse. I can't do it. I choose not to work on myself. This is how direct I challenge you all. None of us here would have any excuse not starting on this journey, whether with us or on your own. It's really time. Anyone would like to add on?
Yeah, just finding a tribe that actually says and matches what they say is extraordinary, because I've had the experience that hasn't happened, and you get a lot more achieved when you're in a part of a group that's not just, it's not about competition, it's about supporting when they need support and encouraging when they need encouragement, no matter what experience or background you come from.
Beautifully shared, Helen. Thank you so much. Right. Now, I better let you guys go. I know the time is getting up. So share with us, what is your biggest takeaway today? For those who are in the container, type in, go into the Facebook group to share, or for those who, Davida, Karen, and Lana, feel free to share what's your biggest takeaway here, so that we know that we could learn from you guys too.
Basically, be true to yourself.
Thank you, Davida.
Yeah.
Go on, Karen. Nana, don't be polite.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with that. I think I particularly found the visuals very helpful, just to spark some ideas. But I think it's all about being true to yourself, because I think so often in my working life I have role played where I felt that it hasn't been my authentic self that I've presented as my public persona. And so I think of a lot of what we discussed before, where people were talking about how they are in a private context versus their public persona, is really helpful, because it's about trying to put your authentic self forward consistently, isn't it?
Yeah. The idea is to get you out of your head and start thinking with your heart. You're a logical thinker, Lana.
Anna, do you know how many people have said that to me, that I have to go with my heart, not my head?
Yeah. And it's only because you've been trained as a child, you've been trained to stop feeling. This is not what we do. This is not how you wear. You've got to wear your underwear, your best underwears for Sunday, just in case you get hit by a bus, you know. Yeah, you made your bed, you lie in it, but I can change the sheets. So, you know, it's as simple as that. Okay, it's just as simple as that. It sounds easy. It's not, because you've been thinking a certain way. To start feeling means you have to release that emotion, and that may be difficult for many of us. We've all had our teary side, Lana. We've all exploded on this place. You know, Alyssa says, "Oh, it wouldn't be a session if I wasn't crying."
Well, I love that she feels safe enough to do that. I love that she
absolutely, absolutely. So, you know, one day she had a really bad day. She sent it through a text, and every single person in the tribe responded. Like I was in an office, someone else was working. We're all trying to ring her, but you know, Evie got there first, and yeah, but it was good that she could call out.
And she wasn't alone.
She could reach out. And I was, you know, the fact that she started reaching out was a big thing, because a lot of women do not reach out, do not ask for help. It's okay for us not to be okay. It's okay for us to turn around and go, fuck this. I want to do this. So I want to help myself, right? Because I've done it for every little fucker elsewhere, right? I've been mentoring and coaching people in work, out of work. I don't really care. Men, female, it doesn't matter. But what I can say is you've got to get out of your head. You've got to be willing to get out of your head and do the work to start feeling. Because when you start feeling, that connection becomes stronger. And that determination and that motivation becomes stronger. Right? There's so many ways. And, you know, you might be a person who turns around and says, no, I don't know how to meditate. I was that person, right? But I knew how to breathe, because I went, oh, Catherine said, well, you don't need to sit there and do it for 30 minutes, Anna. Just stop. Keep still. Breathe in deeply 5 times. Just pause. And then it went from there, because when I sat still, I started learning how to pull the light through in me and around me and start working slowly. And that's just breathing. Now I meditate because I stopped. I'm still. We have fantastic ladies with us. Tamara is extraordinary, like Catherine, and she takes me to fucking worlds I've never been to, just through the way she has been taught how to do meditation.
Yeah.
You know, Helen has amazing skill sets with crystals, and Katrina as well. So we're utilizing other facets that provide energy and work in harmony with them. We find what suits you. You've got to find what suits you. That's really important.
I do walking meditations.
Oh wow.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So you'd be the Joe Dispenza girl, right? All right, you've got another one there. Her name's Catherine.
It's all right. Thank you for sharing.
Well,
Yes,
it's been
Lana, we
nice
have a
to
lot.
meet you.
Yeah.
It's been a
Yeah.
pleasure.
Good. Karen, anything you would like to share? What's your biggest takeaway today?
It's nice to know that there are other people who are, more similar to me. I'm a pretty social person, right? Everywhere that I've moved to or lived, I can create a group of people around me to do whatever I want to do, go places or experience things. But everybody I feel like is always telling me everything and like looking for help and looking for a solution, or just maybe even somebody just to listen to them. And then there's no room left for me to share with anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I do that to myself, right? It's like I could probably just share with people, but for me, it needs to be the right connection, which is harder to find. So it's like I'm a very social person, around people a lot, alone a lot also.
Yeah.
And then I find myself feeling lonely at times.
Yeah.
Even though I could probably just call someone or text someone or just go to someone's house and have someone to be with.
Yeah.
That's
but
not what I want. I don't want just somebody to be with.
you want to express yourself in every way.
But there's a difference between, as you say, getting to know people and having those people around you, but feeling safe enough to connect with them, to share your stuff.
Or even,
I've been in that situation.
Even wanting to do that,
Yeah, that's right. Because you haven't felt energetically, you haven't felt that they would understand or hear or hold that space for you to express yourself. Myself, I've moved around a lot as well. So we've become very good chameleons. We can fit in. We know how to fit into that group. We know how to build those groups around us. But we can still feel very lonely and isolated because they're not people who we feel will truly understand who we are.
Who resonate.
Yeah, they don't resonate. We don't feel that energy. We don't feel that connection. We don't feel that energetic safety with them. Which is why, as you say, you don't reach out.
Have you ever walked into a room and you just know you feel comfortable with people? Like I've met Anna and Tamara and Catherine and a few others from this group the first time at a retreat, and we all accepted each other through that whole weekend. Yeah. And then I got to ride back with Anna, and I had forgotten this, but she'd said to me, "I'll be seeing you soon." Lo and behold. So and I have that same thing. I was where you were at because I felt that I was everybody's sounding board, but when it came to my problems, they weren't there for me. And so finding people that I know actually say what they mean and mean what they say is huge, because that doesn't often happen. And this is sort of the group you just know. And that's what you can find out where that resonates in your body, and recognize that with different people. And you can still have people that are in your life, but they're more like acquaintances and other people where you can just be you in.
Yeah, I don't really think that people have not been there for me. I don't think I've even given them a chance to be there or not be there for me.
Yeah. and that's the thing, we don't. I think that's that energetic feeling, Karen, that you haven't given them that chance because, you have expressed previously at times and it hasn't been received well, or it hasn't felt safe. So you've taught yourself not to open up. You've taught yourself that it's okay for them to unload on you and for them to talk to you, and you'll hold that space for them and you'll listen and you'll be compassionate and empathic. But when you've tried to do the same previously, whether you remember it or not, it hasn't been safe. So you don't do that. So you don't give them that chance anymore.
So you can also look at it a different perspective, which is when you're in a relationship with your hubby, do you give 100% of you? All of you?
30 years later, it's not as easy.
Yeah. So no, what I'm saying is it's 100% for you. It has to be 100% for you. When you enter into a relationship and trust, the stuff that we do together, I mean, Helen, Katrina, Alyssa, it's all, and Tamara, all of us are honest. We may not like to hear what other people have to say about certain things, but we're honest. We don't care. You tell us how your day has been shit. It's been crap. Great. Okay. Tell us about it. Be emotional. Let it go. But 100% of myself, 120, 200% of myself is in this. I'm committed. My husband didn't know what happened to me as a child. My ex-partner didn't know because I didn't feel that they would understand. So my abilities, yes, both my partners were very aware of my abilities and what I could do and what I could feel. But even then, you get called a witch, which is like, hello. I think I'm in the family now, guys. I feel like I'm in the place. I don't have to worry about it. Because my success in business has always been with my gut. Every decision, every deal I've made has been with what I feel is right. And that's been quite successful because I've just stuck to it. But being true to myself was accepting and acknowledge that I actually had the power. I just didn't tell people about it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Great. Love you all. Thank you. Just a very open discussion here. So for Davida, Lana, and Karen, I'll just put the link for you to book a call with me. The next step, whether you're going on your own journey or going to join us on this journey, that I would like to help you to plan out your next step, because this is very important. So it's not just 1 or 2 call and we say goodbye, but I'm here to help you guys to look at what would be your next step. So that's a link there for you to book a call with me, and then we'll be able to go from there.
Thank you.
So feel free to stay behind, because some of these ladies love to chit chat. If you have the opportunity to stay behind, stay behind.